Good evening. Welcome to another Thursday night of Beer Run Talk. I think my light settings are still not that good, but I'm wearing a hat. My hair's getting a little bit longer. Let's just take that. Just another Thursday night. I'm gonna go ahead and get to my Facebook. If you have any questions, just post here. Just wanted to bring back just let me just mention that in my regular channel. Hey, podcast is out. I know that I have not posted here as well as Emrun, so I have not posted. If you subscribe to Voice of Runners, the podcast, you should have access. I think a lot of you are already listening to that. Very interesting talk. Uh, Very interesting talk. One of the talk we'll discuss that in a minute. Let's start the beer and drinking a little bit and go through our what do you call it, discussion. As you can see, I'm growing my mustache and beer story on this one. Basically, I usually in this starting by November around Pinhoti time. Usually, I start. Hold on. I usually start that start my mustache and beer. But this year I wanted to wait because I had a driving license. I had only mustache 4 years ago, and every time I go through TSA, they look at me funny. It's like I only have like who's this guy? So this time I wanted to have without it. So it took a while for me to get. Finally got around. Wanted to have a star driving license, and it took me a while. But when I took a picture, it was bad. Regardless, it was a bad photo. So I was hoping that I would get a good photo. But anyway, I'm gonna go back to the faithful Corona beer, Coronita. I guess I didn't know that. Anyway, the smaller Coronita, I guess a smaller one. I'm using the Samuel Adams. I think I got this from Dallas Marathon. They were actually had. I didn't know the Samuel Adams had different varieties of beer, but they definitely had it at Dallas Marathon. They were giving away. I remember last week when I was opening this one, I had so much problem. This week, none. But here we go. Cheers. Drink some beer. Michael is online. Go drink some bourbon, Michael. Uh, so so I would like to welcome all of you. Let's drink my beer. I cook. Some of you follow me on my my personal channel. I cook a lot. Today I was cooking some hot spicy food. I like to bring that also part of Thursday night. Maybe we'll do that live. So I couldn't just cook and then do it at the what do you call do would cook and go live at the same time. We'll work on that in the future. Anyhow, the thing what I was talking about is this week some of the updates. Just want to let you know my season suddenly starting now. I will be running. Baton Rouge, Louisiana Marathon. I do not. I was not planning to go to Louisiana, but it worked out just like that. I'll be running the Louisiana Marathon. Those of you running Louisiana Marathon, make sure that you look me up. I don't know how fast I want to go. I've been training, as you know, but I'm not sure I'm training to go fast. Fast in sense, I was looking at the chart. I would like to go 7:30 pace, finish 3:20, which is I'm not trained for that. Next up is just finish my Boston time, which is still not for. I'm ready for that. I'll try to gun it for 8-minute pace, which is easy to calculate, and see where I go. If I can even go 6, 7, 8 miles in that pace, it'll be good. I don't want to start slow, 10-minute pace, which probably I'll have to think how I feel by Sunday. I should be able to pace 8:30 pretty well with the training that I have, which I have not raced, as you know, in a road marathon in so long. I think maybe the Baton Rouge was the last time I raced, tried to race. I think I finished off 4 still, but it's not good enough for me. Just to finishing, but I wanted to try some Boston qualifying and see where I am. I know that I have lost my speed. So anyway, suddenly my my season started. I'm going to Baton Rouge and then go to Miami next weekend. I'm headed down to Miami next Saturday, Sunday, and then I'll stay till Monday. Hopefully a little bit warmer. Baton Rouge will not be warm. Those of you going last year, 25 degree. If you watch my video from last year, I kept on talking like it's 25 degrees cold. I was still not sure how to dress up, but this year, the Thursday night, Wednesday night group, running at night and cold, and my super secret group of which we run, they want me to come at 5 o'clock in the morning. That group kind of helped me to kind of adjust what do I need to wear for certain training. Racing wise, I'm still not sure. I think I should be okay. I learned how to dress for 30 degree, raining, and all those. I think it's going to be wonderful weather though. It'll be clear sky, and that course is pretty flat, flat, and it goes to the LSU campus. And for all those SEC fans, it's pretty cool. I think you get to see the Tiger as well. I don't remember. I think you do, but I definitely know that you go right past the LSU campus, inside the LSU campus, inside the LSU stadium, and so on. So it's a good road race. Those of you interested in road, next week a lot of you running mountain mist. We can talk about that next week, how to deal with mountain mist. Some of you have run already, some of you haven't, so we'll have to talk about that. So those are the news. Good new news for me, which I usually don't talk about that in a podcast, but podcast is out. I'll link it up tomorrow morning, and if not, if you already subscribe to podcast channel, you should be able to get that downloaded already. SoundCloud, if you do SoundCloud/Marathon Runs, you also find that. Good podcast. He was a guest already in episode 50. He's a new one. We did a new episode and tried to he's pretty passionate about what he talks. So one of the things we talked about in that podcast kind of triggered me to look at all the things that we do. The idea is having a passion. I'm going to look at that camera right now and talk to that. I always look down to look at my face, and I think it's not correct. I think I need to look at that green camera, kind of learn to see. It's hard not to look down. But anyway, let's focus on the topic itself. By the way, if you have any questions, just post here. One of the things we talked about that passion, and we discussed that a lot in that podcast, and kind of it's not always that topic, but kind of that's what I extracted. Just having a passion is not enough. So a lot of time we say, "Oh, I'm passionate about running," but that's not enough to get us further. I talked about a little bit already in my morning talk. I usually do a coffee with the Suman, and that's where we talked about it. But I'm going to take through each of those component, or each of those things that you need to be successful, just not having a passion. The next one, first one I thought about, like desire. I think that came from the podcast. Along the podcast, that's what I listened as I was editing. I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Having a passion is not enough. Having desire to move your passion is always a great thing, because sometimes I may be passionate about running, but getting up 5 o'clock in the morning is I don't desire. It's cold. It's not. I don't want to do it, but when I go and do it, I feel good. By 8 o'clock, I've logged already 14, 15, 16 miles. So it's like, oh, wow. Because usually, as you know, I don't like to start in the morning. Last weekend, I started at 11 o'clock. I still went out and ran it, but I just don't have that desire to get up early in the morning always. But that builds a character. That's one of the other things we're talking about lately. I post about building a character. What builds a character this summer has been all about building character. The winter and cold and rainy. You know that a lot of you make fun of me, especially this Wednesday night group. They know I always post when it's raining, and then a lot of you say you're not going to melt. I feel like I'm going to melt and get sick. Good thing that knocking on wood that I have not gotten sick because of the running in the rain. Like I said, wearing the good gear, protecting myself, knowing that it's remaining, kind of helping me. So that's one thing to kind of think about, how to prepare yourself, even though you may not have those desire to go outside, but getting yourself to get ready and preparing yourself better, maybe that's the way to do it, so you don't have to second guess or think twice, or saying, should I do this or should I go, or I just don't want to do it. I mean, there's so many excuses we can find not to do things. I found a lot of excuses not to do things. I always do, but the thing is that the best part is doing it. Make an excuse, but doing it is also makes you better. So having a passion is not enough. Not enough to do anything in life. I think that's the point for me, and that's personally. I'm taking that idea a little bit further. That was my first topic, and next week we'll discuss something else. So anyhow, so that's what's coming up. Kind of keep on drilling in that idea, that what will make me successful as a runner, or in anything else I'll do, but especially in the discussion that we're talking about, being a runner. So anyhow, I hope you're having a great week. I know I went yesterday, Wednesday night, and run and took a pretty good fall. I don't remember falling like that in a night run. One of the thing I knew that, and I kept telling myself, and I need to replace my battery. Having a good battery and better lighting at night running is probably good. Yesterday I hit a rock, and it was probably not a big rock, and next thing I know, boom, I was falling and bleeding and all over. I didn't post the bleeding part on my picture. I just don't. It looks. But I was bleeding, but it's not as bad as what Robbie had, I think. But mine was manageable. So it was okay. I'm okay today. I take care of those. But starting the winter season is here. Going to Baton Rouge, I'm kind of nervous about it. I know I went to like 60 miles last week. That's the longest, well, not longest, the most mile I have logged since forever. But the one good thing about that part, I just want to mention that, is even though I logged 60 miles, none of those miles are more than 15 miles. I had to run every day. That is a given. Some days I ran 3 or 4 or 5 miles, and other day I had to run 10, 11 miles. But in total, I had like 61 miles. So that's something new for me. I never logged 60 miles in a week, 61 miles in a week without running 20 or 22 miles. So that's kind of new. I'm trying to figure out how the training will look like and what's the effect. I know that I'm jumping in and going to run a race, which I should have waited, but that's okay. It's okay. Next week I'll be pacing, but this week I would like to see how far my training has been. So I'll see how that'll play. My training is a little different. That's the desire part. I had no desire to run. I had run 23 miles a couple of weeks ago on the trail, but I just don't have a desire to go that far and for forever, for long. So some of those days, it's good for me just to log some of those miles and in a kind of stretch form. I guess I'm just stretching my days and miles. So it's working out okay for that. So just one of the things, just not to burn yourself out, just to be creative how you log miles probably is a good idea. Let's drink more beer. I'm kind of finishing my topic. If you have anything to talk about, I hope the government shutdown has not affected your races or training. I know a lot of trails are closed. A lot of national trails are closed. I don't know about Talladega Forest. I don't think it's just. I think it is a national trail. So I know I hear some of the races are getting affected, as well as some of the trail runnings. So just hope that this will not go forever. I don't want to talk about the political side of this whole thing, but as a runner, as a trail runner, we want this to be open so we can run. I think Kennesaw Mountain National Park, I think that's shut down. When I go to Atlanta, I run that quite a well. I have like 16. I have a good 16 mile to run, and that one, not only the mountain, it's across the mountain and way out there. But I heard that is closed. If you are from Atlanta area, please post that and let us know. But other than that, I'm good with everything. I'm starting what do you call, starting the season, this part of the season now. Training is almost over now. Some of you laughed when I said that yesterday, but the way my style of running, once I started getting racing week after week, I just have to be. I've become really careful. One of the things I like to mention also, we will be doing a preview run for Lake Martin. I don't know exact date. I gave David Haas a couple of days in February. We have to go in February because the race is in the March, so that you get to see. If you want, you come down. If you're close by a few hours of drive, and come down to Lake Martin, we'll just run a 25-mile loop, and then and just enjoy the day. I think that's usually what we do. We meet there 8:30. Go start from here in Birmingham about 7 something. David will post that out, and I'll relay back to you. But have a great week. If you have any question, please post. If not, I've been talking this for a while. A lot of you are watching me, and I'm all about talking about running. If you're not a runner and watching me, I'm sorry. You have to listen to me talk about running. But hey, one thing I wanted to mention about the India run, the Dundee run, still have been asked to come to India and run it. This time I have not decided what I want to do, but still like to go. May not be possible. 80-kilometer a day. If I go there that far, I would like to run the whole thing, 400 kilometers. That's 80-kilometer a day for 5 days of running. I don't know. I hardly can run 42 kilometers in an 80-kilometer day. Maybe I had to walk it or something. I think the time limit is 18 hours if you do it every day. There's other varieties of the event as well. It'll be as bad as when we did the Ragnar. I guess the Ragnar, it was a relay. Somebody else was taking it. If you want to go with me and we go take a relay tour, that probably is a good idea too. But I don't know how that whole thing will work. But anyhow, I don't have much to talk. This podcast is out. I'm releasing some videos. When I go to Baton Rouge, I'll bring you some videos and things to look at. It's almost sold out. That is becoming one of the race of the winter race in the Southeast. So have a great week, and I hope enjoy your weekend. I know even in South, it's going to be one of the coldest weekend. The cold part of the year is about to start. That's what I was told. Just few more months. Just take yourself. Don't hibernate 2 months. If you can't go outside, run inside. If you cannot run, just do something else. Just keep being active. I think that's what I want to say. My goal is for you and for me to just keep running and continue. We're doing things we do and not quit. It's once you quit, it's harder, and once you slow down, it's hard to come back. It's happened to me. You have no idea how hard I'm having a hard time to bring back myself. But have a great week, great weekend ahead. Drink, enjoy, run, be active, take your family out. It's a long weekend. Oh, by the way, and if you're a Birmingham runner, there is actually Martin Luther King. That we do historical run. It started as just a regular run. It's growing. I have not been to that run, but I would love to go. Maybe I'll show up Monday. But it starts right there at the Civil Rights District, 6th Avenue, 17th Street, or 6th and 4th. It's downtown. Just check BTC website, and I think I may have posted that, and I'll post the marathon runs as well. So have a great week. Enjoy and volunteer. Martin Luther King week. If you can't volunteer, just take just go run, do something, and don't hibernate too much this winter. Thanks for your time, and thanks for listening, and we'll talk next week. Have a great, and drink some beer.